What's up, mortals? It's Dante from the anime Underworld, and today we are going over chapter 235 of Four Nights of the Apocalypse, titled Visitors from Beyond. And the first thing we get with this chapter is a 2-page spread of the 5 Nights of the Holy Grail with their colors. And okay, I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid. You all know this was coming. This chapter basically confirms that the 5 Nights of the Holy Grail are indeed the children of the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
I can't believe I was right!
Not only do we finally get to see what they look like with their colors, and I mean, come on, this is clearly their kids from the future. Look at these colors. The colors, the fact that Percival said that he got Anne and Nasien's pregnant. Yeah, these are their kids. Except for the Goddess Clan one, who doesn't really look like Tristan's kid. And well, I kind of wanted to discuss that a little before we begin. And a little disclaimer. Their names are very, very Welsh. So if you are from Wales, I am sorry if I mispronounced these names. Starting off, we already have Galahad now that we have his official colors. Yeah, he's got Guinevere's hair and he's got Lancelot's eyes. Not just the color, but the shape. The green-haired lass in the back with the purple eyes and the armor who fights like Anne is of course Anne's daughter with Percival named Lohengrin, who is one of Percival's sons in Arthurian legends. But it seems like they got the gender swap treatment just like Merlin and Gawain. Speaking of the sons of Percival, the invisible archer, now that we can actually see it, is Percival's son with Nasien's, Cardiaz. Though him and Lohengrin are actually supposed to be twins. Another member of the 5 Knights we have is, oh god, I hope I'm not mispronouncing this, Yese. Yese? Again, I'm very sorry, Wales. Yese is the son of Tristan Leonis and Isolde, but judging by this design, you wouldn't really think that. Yese's hair is blonde like Meliodas and his eyes are blue like Elizabeth. He looks more like a rejected design for Tristan. He doesn't have heterochromia eyes, nor is his hair silver. Heck, it's not even pink like Isolde's. And many people online have told me that that's a good thing, because if he had pink hair and kept the blue eyes, he would actually look like Gil Thunder. Finally, the last of the 5 Knights we should talk about before we begin this review is Laiwarsh. Laiwarsh? Again, I'm sorry about the names. She is the masked mage we've met before, and the daughter of Gawain. Not sure why she has the long arms, but I guess we'll find out later on. Now that we got the color designs of our characters and their names, I say without further delay, let's get into it. We begin chapter 235 with the Grail Knights chatting amongst one another, their guard completely down, for someone is talking over them. Hey, look at that. Invaders. I've never seen such a group before. Likely associated with them. The Grail Knights are secretly surrounded by what's left of Camelot's loyal forces, floating above and ready to strike at their unassuming targets. But we turn back to the Holy Grail Knights, but oh man, look at those baby back ribs. Laiwarsh, with her long arms stroking her hair, with her back completely exposed, tells her comrades, you know though, fakers or not, the intensity of that man just floored me. Though Galahad doesn't seem concerned about Lancelot, and he's more floored about how much skin that Laiwarsh is showing. Like father, like son. And Laiwarsh preys on his weakness for attractive women, pointing at her back and telling the young knight, if you're curious, I can let you get a bit hands-on. Yeah, this is Gawain's daughter, alright. I could totally see Gawain acting like this if she wasn't a lesbian. But Yese tells her to quit it, then adds on. One of them called, quote-unquote, Lancelot, if I recall. What do you think, Galahad? The son of war. Yeah, that's what people are calling Galahad now. Tells his comrade, honestly, it drives me up a wall. The real one is 10 times stronger than him. Wait a minute, the Lancelot who has been a complete and utter badass, the guy who is called the God of War, he's actually stronger in the future. There's actually more room for Lancelot to grow and become stronger. However, Laiwarsh, much to the anger of Percival's future children, says, though in a way that fake Percival was even more of a menace. And Yese agrees with, yeah, even copying his hairstyle and color, now that's dedication. Lohengrin is angry at them and kind of blushing, telling her comrades, well, the real one doesn't look that much of a dope. Oh, so Percival's still the same in the future? Oh, that's nice. Even her brother is laughing along. Lohengrin calls out her half-brother. What's so funny? But Cardiaz, the fairy hybrid, tells his sister, well, tell me, Lohengrin, how was it fighting with her? He's of course talking about her fight with Gawain. And his dear old half-sister explains, it made me doubt myself as what? It's like she could read every one of my moves. Oh geez, I wonder why. Then Cardiaz brings this up. She had one thing in common with her, the ability to freely change her size. That weird girl. Yeah, there's a reason why I told you all the spoiler that these are their children in advance, because they have no freaking idea that they're somehow in the past and are meeting their parents when they were 18. They pulled it back to the future, or I guess in this case, a Terminator. However, Loyawars actually tells her comrades that it sure felt like the real Gawain to her, as Galahad comes over and offers some jerky, and she gladly takes it, and offers the opportunity to touch her body. Oh man. Yeah, this really is Gawain's daughter. She had the exact same tendencies when she was gay. Laiwarsh angrily eats Galahad's meat. It sounds gross, but I'm keeping it in. Why would the invincible, master of the sun, be turning huge and small like that? She's the most amazing holy knight there ever was. Don't lump her with that girl. Wait a minute. Was? What do you mean was? Her anger doesn't stay on Gawain for long when she tells Percival's future children, that guy with the long silver hair irks me the most. He fully deflected all of my spells. What kind of magic was that? Yesei enters the conversation, clarifying the details. It's not magic. It's a mystical sword move capable of repelling all offensive magic. He's talking, of course, about full counter, the fabled ability of Tristan the hero. They say his grandfather was more adept at it. Wait a minute. Grandfather? Is this some kind of translation issue? If we're talking about his father, this is clearly Meliodas we're talking about. Full counter is his whole thing. But unless he really is talking about Tristan's grandfather, which grandfather are you talking about here? I don't recall the Demon King, or heck, even Bartra using full counter at all. Unless we're talking about Chandler, because full counter was actually his move, in which case, oh, that's actually pretty sweet. Chandler was a lot more of a dad to Meliodas than the Demon King ever was. While we're on Tristan Leonis, why is his own son acting as if he never met his illustrious heroic father? The fabled ability? Has Tristan's own son never seen this ability before in the future? Heck, look at this next page. Yesei brings out one of his Goddess Clan wings and informs his comrades, but most of all, he bore Goddess Clan wings. I never knew anyone had inherited Goddess blood apart from me. So he doesn't know his own father is half goddess? Did Tristan not meet his own son? Did Yasei not meet his Nephilim father? I need answers on my Nephilim boy, damn it. With everything they said about the quote-unquote fake Knights of the Apocalypse, everyone just tries to understand what the heck they're even dealing with Yasei concluding, because I doubt they're merely charlatans posing as the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse.
Don't tell him, he might crack.
Galahad looks upon his comrades and asks them the most important question. Isn't that the whole reason why we were chosen? To make the deformed right again. But no reason to get all stoogey like that. Let's warm up with these guys. The Son of War notices that Camelot's remaining knights charge in from above, thinking that they caught the 5 Knights of the Grail off guard. Their leader, staff in hand and squid on his face, yells, "Crush them!" as every single knight launches their magic at them all at once. Cardiaz is the first to counterattack by pulling out a very familiar pendant and using Spirit Chastiful First Form Guardian, summoning a giant rabbit. It's actually pretty cute and a lot better than what Nasien's used when she used Guardian. Dear God, I still hate that decision. So this is a lot better than Nasien's body pillow, as it effortlessly bounces off all of the magical attacks, shielding them from the damage. As the enemy knights land on the ground, Lywars takes herself into the air to deal with their leader and 2 other knights in the air, as she prepares a magical incantation, then encases all 3 of them into solid blocks of ice with the spell Frozen Grave, incapacitating and freezing them in place midair.
I was frozen today!
With their mages out of the way, there's a new strategy. Take them out one by one as they charge each individual knight, starting with Lohengrin. The naive and confident knights of Camelot think that they can hit Lohengrin with everything that they got, but the Holy Grail Knight is able to dodge their attacks effortlessly, much like her dear old man Percival. But the swordswoman retaliates just like her mother with Scattered Rose, using Anne's own sword technique and her own magical power to blast and jab her enemies with pure magical force, securing herself a victory. She even smiles like her mother, confidently saying, "Well, I suppose I'm not so untalented after all. What a shot of confidence for me. Thank you." Those who dealt with Lohengrin got off easy, because other knights were blasted to smithereens and set ablaze from Yesei flying from above with his goddess clan wings and attacking with meteor thrust. He might not look like Isolde, not even have her pink hair, but at least he inherited her explosive magical power. Realizing that this is a fight that they're not going to win, the knights try to pull back and retreat. Unfortunately for them, they ran into the most powerful member of their group. The Son of War unsheaths his katana, then attacks with matchless limb cutter. With incredible speed, he effortlessly slices at all of their vitals, taking down the remaining Knights of Camelot with relative ease like they were nothing. The dust began to settle and the Camelot Knights lay defeated, either stabbed to death or incapacitation. Some are alive, some are frozen in blocks of ice, some are saying, "My arm," or
My leg! My leg!
they might be in pain, but hey, at least they're alive. One of the enemies with a very freaky mask is amazed, saying in complete shock, "There were still people like you in Leonis? But who are you?" That's a good question to ask the Knights of the Holy Grail, who also happen to be the sons of the greatest heroes, the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. Confirming to all who haven't guessed it already that these are the children of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse from the future. It's here that the chapter tells us readers, at least before I told y'all, who they are and who they're related to. Starting off with Yesei, the 22-year-old goddess clan-themed son of Tristan, possessing his grandfather's blonde hair, his grandmother's sky blue eyes, and even one of her earrings. Man, those earrings have been through a lot of goddesses. Then there's Lywars, the 23-year-old long-armed adopted daughter of Gawain. Yeah, out of all the other knights, she is not related to Gawain by blood. She's actually adopted. I guess that explains the arm. Though this makes me curious about what happened to Balin in the future.
I had snoo.
Oh well, Gawain might not be Lywarsh's biological mother, but you can sure as hell tell that Gawain is that girl's mommy. And then we got Percival's 2 children, the ones he said are probably going to be born next year. Car Diaz, the 25-year-old son of Percival and Nasien's, possessing his mother's brown hair and a tuft of Percival's green hair, along with his purple eyes and the spirit spear pendant that Nasien's has right now in the current timeline. And her half-sister, Lohengrin, the 25-year-old daughter of Percival and Anne, looking a lot like her dear mom, except with Percival's green hair and purple eyes. And we end chapter 235 with the youngest member of the 5 Knights of the Holy Grail, the 18-year-old son of Lancelot, the Son of War, Galahad, who decided to end the chapter by making the other girls mad by calling them sons. Oh, Galahad, you have a lot to learn about women. And that is how we end chapter 235. Yeah, when Bartra said, you will face knights from a faraway land. That meant that you were going to face knights who came from the future. Distant land, my ass. That's more of a distant time. How will the clash between the current generation and the future generation go? Will they ever figure out that they're actually facing the real Four Knights of the Apocalypse? Well, we're going to have to see in the next chapter. If you love 7 Deadly Sins and Four Knights of the Apocalypse material, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content coming your way very soon, and comment down below of what you thought about this chapter and the video overall. This has been Dante from the anime Underworld, and I'll see you mortals later.